When astronomers search for life, they usually look for a reflection of ourselves. This view of Earth captures the two things we consider mandatory: solid ground to stand on and liquid water on the surface. This terrestrial bias effectively removes the largest planets in our solar system from the conversation. We look at the violent cloud bands of Jupiter and see a world that is fundamentally incompatible with biology. This diagram illustrates the physical barrier to our understanding. Earth has a thin atmosphere that ends at a solid crust, whereas Jupiter's atmosphere thickens endlessly into a high-pressure core with no solid boundary. But that assumes biology requires rock and soil to evolve. In a thought experiment, we must ask, what if an organism doesn't need a floor? Our insistence on finding a mirror image of Earth might be the exact blind spot that keeps us from seeing the life right in front of us. In the year 2089, a next-generation space probe arrives at Jupiter and dives into the clouds, designed to descend deeper than any mission in history. As it drops past the point of no return, the probe registers extreme conditions. The atmospheric pressure rises to levels that would crush a submarine, and the sensors struggle to see through the thick orange haze. Then, the static of the storm is interrupted. The probe picks up a highly structured radio transmission coming from the depths of the planet. The signal isn't random noise. It is a repeating sequence of prime numbers, 2, 3, 5, and 7. As this diagram shows, prime numbers are the universal signal of intent. Because these numbers are indivisible, they serve as a mathematical bridge that no known natural phenomenon can create. Mission Control cross-references the signal against every known pulsar and solar flare signature, finding no match. This mathematical intent points to an intelligence broadcasting from inside a world we believed was dead. Below the lower cloud deck, the probe's cameras finally reveal a glowing geometric megacity, suspended weightlessly in the high-pressure fog. The structures stay aloft by harvesting the planet's own electromagnetic currents, using the storm's energy to counteract the massive gravity of the core. The inhabitants have no need for bones, legs, or eyes that detect visible light. Their biology is governed by the laws of the atmosphere, not the ground. These transparent organisms function as living electrical circuits, pulsing with light as they navigate the dense, metallic hydrogen clouds. They survive on a unique energy cycle, absorbing direct strikes of atmospheric lightning as their primary source of nutrition. Communication happens through electromagnetic pulses, using the volatile storm around them as a massive conductive medium to share data. In this environment, atmospheric physics replaces terrestrial geography as the primary driver of evolution. Back on Earth, Mission Control attempts to establish first contact by transmitting a mathematical greeting into the Jovian depths. The response is planet-wide. Thousands of lights across the floating city flash in perfect synchronization. The translated message appears on the monitors as a single question: why did it take you so long? They reveal that Jupiter is part of a vast network. Similar societies exist inside Saturn, Neptune, and almost every gas giant across the galaxy. Humanity's search for life had been failing because we were only looking at the surface, ignoring the massive populations thriving inside the clouds. Before the probe loses power, the Sky civilization shares one final detail: they didn't actually build the city they live in. Deep below their metropolis, in the dark abyss of the lower atmosphere, sits an ancient artificial structure that predates the formation of our solar system. The message indicates these beings were seeded here by someone else, and that humanity is far from the first species to find them. The transmission cuts out, leaving a terrifying sense of scale, reminding us that the galaxy was inhabited long before we arrived. To be clear, there is currently zero scientific evidence for intelligent life inside Jupiter. This story is a thought experiment designed to test our assumptions. However, astrobiologists use this specific logic to search for life. By intersecting the limits of Earth's extremophiles with the conditions of gas giants, they can map out speculative survival zones for alien biology. Exploring the cosmos requires us to look past our own reflection and acknowledge that life might exist in forms we haven't yet learned to recognize. If a signal like this were intercepted tomorrow, should we attempt to reply? Let me know in the comments if we should make contact or stay away. If we stop assuming life needs a floor to walk on, the empty space in our solar system suddenly looks a lot more crowded.